When I was younger, 4 or 5, we lived in this giant old house that we rented. It was beautiful inside, all sorts of wood fixtures and whatnot. I don't really remember most of this story personally, this is just what I've been told over the years. It had 3 bedrooms, so my sister, who was 4 years older than me, and I shared the largest one upstairs. We would sleep in separate beds, pretty close to each other. I always picture it like the old 50s couples that slept in the same room but in different beds. Anyhow, I always talked in my sleep, and sometimes even sleptwalked. My sister would wake up at night to see me sitting in front of the closet door, having a conversation with someone. She just assumed I was dreaming and went back to sleep. This happened for months. One night she woke up and I was sitting on the edge of her bed. She listened to me for a while as I had a conversation with someone about how I didn't really want to do that because it might hurt her. She sat up at that point and asked what I was talking about, and I just looked at her and smiled, then went back to sleep. She woke me up after that because she was freaking out a bit, but I had no clue as to what happened. She eventually got sick of me doing things like that, and my mom and dad turned the downstairs study into her own room. So then here I am, this huge room all to myself. I can remember the last time I wet the bed very vividly. I was in kindergarten and woke up to wet sheets. I was completely disgusted, so I changed and went to sleep in my parents' room. For some reason, that memory sticks with me, but not the rest of the story. The next morning, my mom was going to clean up my mess, and I followed her, telling her there was nothing to clean up. I started talking about the old lady who came into my room last night and scolded me. Exact words. What 5-year-old uses the word scold? For wetting the bed. She tore the sheets off the bed and made me get up. She threw clothes at me from my dresser and made me go to sleep in my parents' room. She said she would clean it up for me. Sure enough, when Mom got to the room, my sheets were clean and my PJs that I wore the night before were nicely folded sitting on my bed. My mom tells me now that she was a bit freaked out by this, but also thought I might have been playing a joke on her. I was a bit mischievous in my youth. Nothing else out of the norm for a good while. I used to talk to my imaginary friend, which most kids my age did at the time. However, most people's imaginary friends weren't 90-year-old grandmas, but I always did have a good imagination, so no one ever really thought much of it. One morning, my mom came in to wake me up for school, and I was nowhere to be seen. She looked everywhere for me, under the bed, in my toy chest dollhouse, until she got to the back of my room, where my walk-in closet was. She found me inside, surrounded by all of my stuffed animals sound asleep. This became a normal occurrence. Either she or my dad would tuck me in and read me my book, and then find me in the morning with my stuffed animals in the closet. I remember getting in trouble for putting my toys in the closet, but I still to this day don't know why I did it. In the opposite corner of my closet, there was another door that had been shut and deadlocked to the owner of the house. We did not have access to this space, as it was a stairway that led up to a giant attic he used for storage. I always remember that door freaking me out. There was just something about it that made me want to scream and hide under my blankets. The crowning moment of what I call this haunting is when I was playing upstairs with my Barbies in the dollhouse. I recall someone coming into the room and talking to me, but I don't recall what they said or even who it was. My mom was doing laundry downstairs and heard something loud drop upstairs, so she came to check on me. She found me in my room, the door to the attic unlocked and wide open, and I was laying in the bottom steps crying. Apparently I had gone up on the steps and tripped and fell down the stairs. This never made any sense to any of us, but no one really wanted to talk about it, and still, I really don't like to discuss it. How on earth did I get that door open when I would barely step foot close to it? Not only was it deadbolted, but they also had one of those high chains up there that I couldn't really reach. I honestly don't remember being scared of anything but that darn door, nor do I remember my invisible friend. My mom called the landlord to see if he'd been in the attic, and he swore he hadn't been in that attic for years. She told him what happened, and he was silent for a good bit. Then he told my mom that a little old lady had lived in the house, and that she was known for abusing the children that she babysat, and even forcing them to harm each other. The kids would lock themselves in the closet in my room to keep her away. She died one day when a kid ran away from her and went to hide in the attic. She got up to the top step and tripped, broke her neck and back on the way down. So, I guess she and some little kids were haunting me. I kinda wish I could remember more of it, but yeah, I'm sorta glad I can't. I have looked for news articles or anything in the local library regarding this story, and I've never found anything. I wouldn't be shocked to hear the old landlord was full of crap, and I had just super crazy overactive imagination.